you got to do that. And then so on, and you build it in such a way that it happens. And we have programs at every level. Even for a 2.5-year-old, we call what's known as a Maja box, which is just a toy, which is not available to the rural children, by the way. Urban, well-heeled children have toys, but contact method of learning with toys is not available to rural children. So we provide that and that kind of thing, and so on, and you build continuously hands-on learning and make it into a kind of a religion. Learn, actively. That's what we try and do.
So let me add to that, right? In our math program, the whole thing hinges around a kit, which is there in the classroom, and it's an activity-based kit. Yeah. For example, we have a simple thing like a tailor's measuring tape. So when somebody says, what's your height, and 4 feet 3 inches, the children actually take it out and they know exactly what it means to say 4 feet 3 inches, right? We have these beads for units, tens, hundreds. The beads were designed to be cubical, but 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and they weigh 1 gram. And we provide a weighing scale with the kit. So children do, weighing. So these are the things you associate around you. Because the child's mother would have said, "Jaake dukaan mein jaake 100 gram chini leke aana," So what is the 100 gram, that the child has to know. So these are the kind of things that are there in quote unquote modern education practices, as all these educationists tell you, that activity-based learning is the way to learn. Not, at least for math, it's not by memorizing 3 times tables or 6 times tables, right? All that is gone. Resistance. Serious resistance. 1 out of 2 teachers will not use the kit, right? But that's a matter of time. Over time it will go away, right? Even for the 2.5-year-old in Anganwadis, there are government runs Anganwadi. There are, schemes where the Anganwadi has to get every year 1,500 rupees worth of new material. Now, what happens to it is a different story, but technically there's material that comes so that the child's domains of development, things like motor skills, cognitive skills and all that can improve. If they have a simple plastic ball for 25 rupees and the child is able to throw it at a distance of 5 feet, 6 feet, then that the gross motor skills are working. So there are all these things. This country, we write very brilliant documents, that covers all the aspects. We are very poor at executing, right? And this is where really excellence is required.
Yep. Hi sir, I am Santosh here. I work for training and placements of persons with disabilities. I have 2 questions for 4 of you. I think it covers 4 of you. The first one is for both Akshara Foundation and Thiagarajan sir, Agastya Foundation. See, firstly, I keep hearing, I've been into the sector for more than 10 years. I've been hearing that, okay, for people especially with sensory impairment, teaching maths is a real problem. We don't have that facility in the country. The systems and the tools and the expertise is not there. First thing is, I was very happy to listen about both of your programs that you focus on developing the math skill with the children. Couple of things is what was that, how come this thought came actually? Generally, where was the problem, or what was the reason for the problem statement to think about we need to do this math training? Because, and second thing is, how do you really, I'm very curious to know that, generally people in the community won't consider that maths is a problem or it is a need in general. If you see, suppose if any kid is going to school, they will be having subjects, physics, maths, everything will be there, science and all, people will think. Very curious to know, how do you really approach either your the community or anybody or even the schools to make them understand that this is the need for them to implement whatever you are doing?
Okay. So I think the first thing is maths historically has been taught badly. I can poll this room and find that 80% of you are deficient in math. Okay. So historically I think it's been taught very poorly, right? Why are we all deficient is because we were asked to memorize, and So you ask a child that 5 times tables, 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, will go down. But you start from 5 times 7 onwards, she won't be able to say it, right? Because that ROM in the head, no, it just spits up from location 1, cut, 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 it all comes down, right? So for that reason, you need something that they understand concepts. Math is not about memorizing and vomiting, it's about understanding concepts, right? If you want to understand concepts, then you have to start by saying, what makes you understand the concept? What around you will help you understand that concept, right? So then clearly it comes out that you have to create activities. What's an activity? So we print monopoly money, right? And peer learning is important. So one group, goes to the other group and buys and sells, buys things from them and gives a 1,000 rupee note. This is before demonetization, right? But a fake 1,000 rupee note, and then they buy some things and they get change, right? So they're actually learning subtraction, and they may have bought 10 different things, so they're learning addition and practicing it. So this way the concepts become reinforced. We found an interesting thing. You ask children, and I can ask you guys also, is 1 by 2 bigger or smaller than 1 by 10? Yeah, right? So, but you're older. But many children would be perplexed and they look at 10 as a bigger number and say 1 by 10. So we created fractional strips with a interesting material called EVA foam. And one of the properties for that is that if you moisten it a little bit and you stick it on the wall, it stays stuck on the wall for 30 minutes. So you put 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, and you can see it. Now suddenly the light bulb goes. What is that? Aha. So the light bulb goes off, and then they realize what they are doing. So the concept then sticks in your head, which is why you need these activities around you, right? Absolutely. We only work with government teachers. So we train government teachers. I told you our math program is the math period in government schools, period. Yeah.
One moment. I am interjecting here for a moment. What I'd like to see this group leveraged to answer today, because you have access to them individually, separately, offline, yeah? Where by all means, reach out for very specific domain-related questions that you have, and they would be able to put you in touch with the right people on their teams, yeah? What you have over here is a lot of experience in scaling organizations. Look at the reach, look at the impact that you have sitting right here. I would encourage questions which pertain to that. So if you have a domain question, don't put up your hand, I'm not coming to you.
Hi, again, to all of you. So we always talk about sustainability, right? Whenever you set up an organization, you become successful when you eventually become redundant. I mean, that is one of the mantras in this field. So how do you see the future in terms of the government really taking up what all, for instance, all the 4 of you are doing and running it by themselves? Do you think the competencies will improve within the system enough to do it themselves? Or with this constant system of IAS officers being transferred, bureaucrats being transferred, and the new set, again having to start from scratch. So do you see that as an impediment? And hence, do you see that the future is organizations working with the government, and that together will only be able to provide the services in a good way to the communities, to the country?
You see, as I see, government should not be implementing these programs. Government should encourage public-private partnerships, stay away from, they should provide the required support and policy support and wherever funding is possible, and invite corporates, not-for-profits, all of them to work together and make sure that whatever they are doing is implemented properly. Government should not directly run these programs, and that's not the way to go about it.
Even in education, there's an element of moving away from running it myself syndrome and taking help and, facilitating through, or even recognizing the fact that enrollments into government schools are falling, and for good reason from the parents' point of view, and moving away to, but makes it more expensive definitely over a period of time. But as Ashok pointed out, the tyranny of enrollment versus quality can at least be solved as you move along to a platform where both are possible to do at a cost. That affordability is definitely going up as I see it. Urban Bangalore now, if you start looking at government school enrollments, they are in trouble. And I'm told that even second level cities, there are difficulties, and if you go and meet the CPI, he'll say, I have so many redundant teachers because I've got to close so many schools. Is it a great thing to happen? I'm not saying it is. If they had improved their quality and both enrollment and quality together, definitely they could have sustained. And I know public sector schools which do beautifully. Corporation of Madras schools returns 99% results every year. It is run by the Corporation of Madras. Same thing happens in Bangalore. A couple of them run at municipality level. But I think ownership of schools over a period of time will have to go back to the old system of panchayats or local self-government with parents kind of a thing. And I think it will evolve to that. It takes time, like everything else, but things like digital education, various other things that are happening at the